and I'm certain it was probably growing in this situation. It was bleeding, and all it needed was a pap, a swab. Ultimately, she had a biopsy of the mass that determined that it was cervical cancer. The person looked, and she said in her account, she says, finally the doctor said, "Can I just take a look?" And I'm saying, I'm reading this, and I'm like,
why weren't you looking before, right?
Oh my God.
Well, the unexpected death of beauty influencer Jessica Petway has many concerned after she shared she was misdiagnosed with fibroids, only to learn later she actually had cervical cancer.
Dr. Wendy McDonald is here with more on what women need to look for and what questions we should be asking when we have our annual exams. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
In this case, was she just told she had fibroids? They didn't do an ultrasound? They didn't do an exam?
No, I don't know. I'm not, I wasn't involved in her care, obviously, right? But I can only imagine that they did do imaging and saw a mass and said it was fibroids. I can only imagine that because a mass can be a fibroid. Bleeding can be coming from fibroids. But the take home here is that cervical cancer is detectable in like 99% of cases if you're getting a pap test.
What can you do as a patient? I know sometimes when I walk into the doctor's office, I automatically have this feeling the doctor knows what's best. The doctor has been trained. If the doctor says this, then this is what it must be. How can I advocate for myself pushing that doctor to go further?
If ever you feel, first of all, I think our gut our gut means a lot, right? If you feel like this doesn't make me feel comfortable, I'm uneasy, getting a second opinion is reasonable. But I also think, prove that I'm safe. Show me the data. Where is my pap? Like, what is the result? If I have fibroids and you say, oh, that's normal, well, let's follow them and make sure they're not growing excessively.
Or she was told she's bleeding that badly, it was fibroids. Why wouldn't they opt for surgery if that was even just the fibroids?
It's a great question, my friend. It's a great question. I mean, as a gynecologist reading this, I'm like incensed by this whole situation because there's so many reasons and so many ways that this should have not happened this way.